All right.
All right. Yeah, that can be really tricky. How you doing today?
Not too bad. You guys?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Good deal. Good.
Just got done doing a wrist wrench workout.
Okay, mine will be done probably about midnight. It'll be cool enough then. So
Yeah, where are you at?
I'm in Northeast Arkansas. It's a little town called Maynard.
Okay.
And I'm outside of that even. So I think there's like 400 people there.
Man, you were saying 115 degrees the other day?
Yeah, and it had been like that for several days. Today it cooled down to 89, so it wasn't horrible today.
Yeah, that's not too bad, man. We had one day of 115 degree, like in all of history, one day.
Yeah,
And it wasn't that long ago. It was like a month ago, and it was horrible. It was just atrocious. It was kind of neat to go outside when it was that hot, just to see what it felt like for a couple minutes. But man, it's weird.
Yeah, you just I know here you go outside and you don't have to do anything, and you're just sweating. You know, it looks like you worked out already. And
yeah, you're kind of in a daze just walking around out there. It's
right.
Nuts. I would not like that at all. So you've been getting into steel bending lately, huh?
I have. Let's see. I started, I think sometime last year, and I wasn't real. I guess I didn't get real serious into it and kind of laid off. And I had a few injuries that laid me off of lifting and everything too. So I don't know. A few months ago, I got back, I guess, pretty serious about it into my training and everything. And I moved up pretty fast on the pieces. You know, the what is his name? The shortsteelbending.com.
Uh-huh.
He sent me a progression sheet anyway, and so I was, going by that, and I am on the 7.5 inch by a quarter, and it's square.
Oh yeah.
And that's where I'm stuck right now. I've been stuck the last 2 days on that. So
yeah, square's a big jump. First time I hit it, I had been blowing everything else away. First time I hit the square, I put the smallest kink in it and stepped away and had to go back to it later. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, I've got a kink started, but that's about it.
Yep, exactly. That's a tough one. So we're here with Harold Lowry. So for those who don't know you, tell us a little about yourself.
Let's see. I'm 45 now. Really just started getting into lifting last year, I guess, a little more seriously. Had several layoffs because of injuries. I've always had a bad lower back, and so I had to take a break several times from that. Let's see. Married. I have 6 kids to work around when I'm lifting. We homeschool all of them, so they're home all the time with us.
Oh wow.
We kind of got like I guess you could call the farmette here. We got, a little bit of everything for animals around and stuff. And we pretty much live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's my closest neighbor, the closest one you can see, but he's a long way off. And the next one's a quarter mile away. So.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quiet at least. And I'm kind of I say a collector. My wife says a hoarder. But I scrap steel and everything. I started doing a lot of art, started posting a lot of it and everything. And so, there's always something. We've always tinkered with stuff and everything. So I just figured, I don't know. For me, it's my little treasure trove of scrap metal out there, but I guess it takes up about an acre of land. So,
wow.
The wife feels differently about it.
I saw some of your sculptures, man. The little dog, that was really cool.
Yeah, thanks. I seen that kind of stuff online, and I figured I'd give it a try. And it's surprisingly a lot of people were interested in already purchasing that stuff. So, that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I thought that was a really cool one. It was a good looking little dog.
Yeah, thanks.
So when you contacted us, you said you had to have back surgery, and you came up with some apparatuses to help with your recovery process and getting stronger. Tell us a little about that.
Okay, so the back surgery goes all the way back to April of 2017. I had, I had a lot of health problems. My dad passed away March 2016, and the day after he passed away, I ended up having to go to the emergency room, and it was a kidney stone. I don't know if you guys have ever had a kidney stone, but
fortunately I haven't.
It's the worst pain I have ever felt. And anyway, I had that, and then when they did the scan to find it, they found my appendix was enlarged, and I had nodules in my lungs. And I think that was all of the big stuff anyway. So the next year was nothing but kind of doctor's visits, and surgeries, and then right around spring, around here we have deep water wells for our water.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are is you got a pump that goes about, different people are different, but like ours is 400 feet underground. Oh, and wow. It's connected by, I think it's a 1.5 inch hose. So when something goes wrong, you check the electricity. If it ends up that it's underground, then you get the fun chore of pulling all that line up, and by hand, and really using a machine just kinks your line. So you got to be real careful, pull it all up. It's wet, it's full of water, so it's a workout in itself.
Yep.
But there was some people we know, and I went to help them with their pump, and that's how I messed it up really bad. I blew a disc then, and I went in, and it was bad enough, I guess they sent me to the surgeon right away, but I put it off for about 7 months because I'm always leery about, a surgeon wants to do this or do that, and I'm just always leery, about that kind of thing. And so I put it off, but it got to where I could barely walk. And so in April 2017, I had the surgery, and I ended up with permanent nerve damage in my right leg. They blame it on me for putting it off, but my doctor, the surgeon that I had, he disappeared after a month, and nobody knew where he went to. So, I don't know how reliable his work was either. So, anyway, I suffered through that quite a bit. I was never supposed to lift over 20 pounds again. Okay. That was just kind of the written rule from the doctor. So I guess after a couple of years of that, I just started getting real depressed, and, I couldn't do really anything I wanted to do. So I just started weightlifting on my own, and seeing what I could do, what I couldn't do. And actually the weightlifting had actually healed, I guess. You can't prove that it healed it, but the discs that I had that were bulging, the other ones, I had 2 or 3 more that were bulging, and they actually went away with the weightlifting. But my problem is, the spinal compression is what I try to avoid. And my lower back is, I guess it's weak, because just, let me see, about 2 months ago, I was deadlifting, and like I said, I've never taken it real serious. So I was working up, and I think I got to 325 pounds. And after, it took me a few months to get there, but then I went in, and it's always hardest for me on that first initial pull up.
Yeah.
And once I get it up, then the rest of them, I can go. It's not so hard for some reason, but I was going and I couldn't budget at first. And I just kept telling myself, I'm going to do it. And I got it up, started off the ground, and then my lower back just went on that. So now anyway, I've dropped the weight on deadlift.
Yeah.
Again, and I'll work up slowly. But some of the things that I've made, squats have always hurt my back. They've always made the nerve pain worse in my leg.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that could be I've never had anybody really teach me proper form on a squat either. I've just loaded it up and done what I've seen done in videos, or anything like that, and just did the best I could. But
yeah.
So I switched to hip belt squats.
Okay.
And back at this time when I did that during COVID, you couldn't find a weight plate anywhere, not affordably anyway. And I only had a few, so I had made this piece, and it was actually from a yard cart, a yard trailer you'd pull behind your mower.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's probably 8 feet long, 10 feet long, maybe. I welded pipe on the end. I'll try to post a picture of it on my page so people can see what I'm talking about. But I wired a pipe on the end so that it could hook up to my power rack, and the safety bar on the power rack just slides through one end of it, and that's my hinge point.
Oh, cool. That makes sense.
And since I didn't have many weights, I don't know much about the engineering and angles. I get you guys are engineers, right?
He's an engineer, yeah.
Okay. So what I figured out is the further back the weight was and the further forward I was, the heavier it was to lift. I guess the closer I was to the pivot point and the further away the weight was. So that's how I designed it. And it actually, when you measure it with a scale, it's actually double whatever weight you put on the bar.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So that worked out good for that time period, and which now I was able to get more weight and everything, but I've still kept it set up the same. And, but that works, that works really good for me. I have no, spinal compression at all with that, all the weights on my hips and legs. So I know I'm not getting the upper body workout from the squat, but I just got to do what I can do. And
yeah, I mean, you can always do, rows and presses and whatever else.
Right. And I keep my workouts really abbreviated. I'm a big fan of Brooks Kubik, McCallum, Stuart McRoberts, those guys there, and have read all their stuff. And so I've always kept really abbreviated workouts anyway. But one device, my favorite lift is the overhead press.
Okay.
And the spinal compression has really always kept me back from advancing very far on that too. And so I have a device. It's very uncomfortable, but it latches around your hips, your waist, above your hips. So it rests on your hips and it rests under your arms, and it's just a welded bar in the back. So it keeps your back straight.
Okay.
So that, when you push up, I mean, you're still supporting yourself with your legs, but it's very minimal compression on the spine.
Huh. That's a cool idea.
So far, that's the best thing I've come up with. I don't always use it, but if I guess it depends on the amount of pain I'm in that day. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I'm trying to think of other equipment I've made. Like I make a lot of my own grip equipment. I've really gotten into grip lately, and I make a lot of the stuff you see that is selling for $200 or $300 on the grip stores. I can make at home from my scrap pile. So I've done that.
An axle.
I
I'm sure
I
you've made
do
an axle
have
and things like that.
I do have a 2-inch axle, a thick bar, I guess. It's it's really just a straight piece of pipe is all it is. The pipe's 2 inches all the way down, so the weights fit on. I made stoppers on it, but I really haven't used it that much. My grip workout so far is, well, let me go here. There's some goals I set for myself, some shorter term goals. I want to reach and certify in Iron Mines crush to dust.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one of my first goals I want to do, and I want to be able to bend the red nail. I think at some point I have the number 3 gripper in sight, but that's down the road some realistically.
Yeah.
So, but I don't feel, the red nail. I feel I'm closing in on it anyway.
Yeah.
Not there, but I'm closing in. So anyway, I've based my workout on my grip workout on those specific activities, those things that I want to accomplish. So like one of the first things I do on grip day, which will be today, is I go and lift the hub. I've got Iron Mines hub and I lift that. And it's funny because I can lift the weight on the hub. I think I'm up to 55 pounds on the hub, and I can close the number 2 gripper, but I'm only at 165 on the Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
So I've got it.
Yeah.
It's just a big discrepancy there, but yeah, that's.
I think it's that case for everybody. I think with the feats themselves, difficulty level, that one is a big discrepancy.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, I'm gaining every week. I'm making small gains, which I'm happy with. But yeah, it does get frustrating when you're so far ahead on the others. But just that one. But I start off doing the hub lift because that weakens my hands more than any other grip exercise that I do.
Okay.
And after that, my hands are just really weak, are really strained, I guess. So I moved from that to trying to think my order here. I do the one I got from his name has just left my mind, Dennis Rogers.
Okay.
Where it's like you take a steel bar in your hands and you're trying to bend it even though it's not bendable, and at the same time you're doing like a reverse curl. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. I'm not sure the purpose of all of it, but it seems to be working. So
no, I
keep
tried
doing
that
it.
technique yet.
He has it in one of his ebooks that he has on his site. And of course, Dennis Rogers, I guess, at least for me, when I got into the strength, the grip strength and the bending stuff, he's the first name that pops up on a search. So, I kind of went to his stuff first, and I do that. I do a sledgehammer. I will, take it in my hand, and I mark each time that I make progress where I move down on it, and I move it side to side, and I'll put it down by my side and lift it up forward, put it out hanging back and lift it backwards. Let's see. I do have you guys ever heard of Chris? His last name, I know I'm going to mess it up, but Shook. He was in a documentary called Steel Bending or Bending Steel.
Okay.
Anyway, he's one of the first ones I got a hold of in person, and he gave me some of the things he does. He's a old time strongman. He puts on shows and stuff like that.
No, I haven't. I've never heard of it, honestly.
It's Chris
I haven't seen
Wonder.
Some of the older steel bending documentaries, so yeah.
Yeah, it's Chris Wonder is his nickname, and it's something like Shook. I could never pronounce it. But
yeah, he's the guy that the Wonder Bar is named after. Yeah.
Okay. He gave me anyway some exercises, and I do a lot of the isometrics, like with the bar that I'm stuck on. I'll go and I'll just bend on that with every grip.
Yeah.
As part of my workout. I'll push as hard as I can for 5-6 seconds, let up, switch to the next grip, bend as hard as I can for 5-6 seconds. And I do a few sets like that with it. And so far that's got me through, may have to change things up, later, and then I come home and I come in the house where it's cool and I do my gripper work and, do some sets on my gripper, and I do negatives on the one that I can't close. So like I can't close the 2.5 yet. So I'll do my main work with a 1.5. Then I'll move to the 2 and I'll close it as many times as I can with each hand, do a couple sets of those. And then with the 2.5, I'll do negatives. I'll close it all the way with my other hand, and I'll just, squeeze it as long as I can. And that's how I've been progressing with the grippers. So I really think that's about all of my formal grip work. I do a lot of smithing work, with my hands and pounding the hammer.
Yeah.
And, that to an extent, that helps some. I guess blacksmiths in history were always the strong men of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So, they did the most hardest physical labor probably at, in the mid 1800s, early 1800s and stuff. So, but so far the workout's working, the grip program I have set up is working. I don't want to overdo it either. And I do a wrist roller. I do add that in, and I do it both directions. I have a 3-inch PVC pipe.
Okay.
And I roll it, forward, and then I'll let it down. Then I'll roll it backwards too. And after that, I mean, my forearms are just. I save that for last because I'm spent after that. That's the one with the most burn, the hardest to recover from. So.
Yeah, that 3-inch diameter, that's pretty thick.
Yeah. I was gonna go to a 2. The 3-inch pipe's the first one I found, and now I've kind of, I guess, got the stubbornness in my head where I'm gonna advance with the poundage with that 3-inch. I'm not,
Yeah.
So I guess it's, more of a me thing than that. Whether I'm not saying a 3's better than 2-inch, but
yeah.
It's for me, that right now in my mind, that's what I have to do. So, and the whole reason I'm bending steel at all, the reason I got into it for anything was just for me. I didn't want to put on shows. I didn't want to really show off, in front of people and go to a party and say, look what I can do or something. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do a lot of the stuff. And so I mean it's mostly for me. Other people that come around the shop, they'll want to see it sometimes, see me bend this or bend that, and so of course I'll entertain it. It's a little bit of attention, so it kind of boosts your morale a little bit on what you're doing. So I'll do that a little bit, but most of it's just, a personal thing that I want to accomplish.
Absolutely. How old's your oldest child?
The oldest is, boy, you put me in a spot there. She was born in 97. So,
okay.
24, I'm pretty sure there 24. And the youngest is 9.
You have any that work out with you regularly?
Not regularly. They have their phases. It'll just depend, from week to week on, who's going to show up in there with me. And usually the youngest ones are the ones who want to be in there more. And my youngest girl we've got 5 girls and 1 boy. So a lot of estrogen, in the house. But the youngest daughter has cystic fibrosis. Not sure if you're familiar with that. It's a pretty rare disease. I think there's 30,000 total people in the United States. So, it's pretty rare, but she'll come out more often than anybody and want to work out. And it's good for her because they have problem with like thick fluids in their body.
Yeah.
Where for us, mucus in the lung just kind of moves out, and we don't even notice it. For her, it doesn't. She has to have machine treatments that shake her and stuff like that. So she'll come in there and she'll lift. And since she's been lifting on and off, all of her medical scores, they do different scores on breathing and everything, and every score has raised significantly. So
wow, that's awesome.
I would, and you tell the doctors this, and it's frustrating because the doctors are, the only thing they can say about it is, well, don't strain her too hard, don't push her too hard. And I get that, but we're finding something, I'm telling you, that, has improved her score greatly, and really no acknowledgement, of, hey, well, maybe other kids should be doing this, it's kind of frustrating, trying to, but a lot of times doctors seem to, they know everything. So
I think they just have to be hyper concerned. Malpractice suits are pretty common.
Right. Sure. I get it, that, that too. I hate to see something that can help those kids and then
them not recognize it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And it's not recommended, because of that fear. And most parents aren't going to know about it, because they don't lift weights, they don't, do anything like that. So I don't know. It'd be nice to get the word out. I'd really like to see some kind of study done, and on a larger group, and see what the results were. Because when I have them lift, I don't want it to sound like I push them to the brink of dying, but I make them work, and they'll be breathing heavy when they're done, and I think that's what's helping her is that heavy breathing, deep heavy breaths. So and that's probably why they don't come every week. It's kind of whenever they feel like getting in there.
Yeah, her body's probably telling her when she needs it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
I push my kids. They lift pretty hard. So
yeah. Like when they're ready to come in and lift, they get pushed to the hard. I won't let them sit back and just take it easy. I don't make them lift, I guess, but I guess I don't know, different ways to look at it. Sometimes I think I should, because it'd be beneficial, for their health. I mean, when they get older. So, but
yeah, we basically say, if you're going to come down to the garage and work out with us, you better take it serious. We'll make sure they do.
Yeah. And same thing with, martial arts. I have a long history of boxing and martial arts, and I was introduced to, I guess you would call the karate. It was kind of the karate that originated after Vietnam, from my father's generation. And I think they called everything karate, no matter what it was, and so it was kind of a cobbled together thing. But I got introduced to that very early, and then boxing by age 9 and judo by age 13. And, from then it just kept going. I was in Aikido by 16. And now in the last probably, I don't know, say 5-10 years, right in between there somewhere. I focus mostly on combatives, which is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Lee Morrison and Kelly McCann, guys like that. It just takes all of the traditional stuff out, all of the ceremony of traditional martial arts. Everything's stripped out, and it's just, hard hitting, hit fast, hit first. Don't stop until the threat's neutralized, that kind of thing. And
yeah, we do a lot of that real world self-defense training. Rory Miller's another good one. I don't know if you've heard of him. Meditations on Violence.
Right.
Yeah, he's actually a cop from our area. He's local to us.
Yeah.
So I've got to meet him a couple times, and he trains our local police force with how to do, real world self-defense. And it's
okay.
A lot of good information in that.
Yeah, Rory Miller is actually the one that turned me on to Left of Bang. I don't know if you've read that, but
great book.
In his new introduction of his book, anyway, he leads people to that, saying it's better than his book, So, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I respect him for giving turning people to other stuff,
Absolutely.
And not thinking you're the best.
Yeah, I 100% agree. If you know somebody that has the skills to teach it better than you, you better turn people onto it. I think that's 100% the way to do it.
Always, you can't grow if you don't seek somebody better.
Exactly.
If you're always working with people below you, you're never going to grow. So
yeah, it's cool to be the strongest guy in the gym, but then you realize you're the strongest guy in the gym. There's nowhere to learn.
You need a new gym.
It's time to go find a stronger gym.
Exactly. So yeah, that's always a belief of mine, is seek out those people, and not in just weightlifting or martial arts, but intellectual endeavors, or I'm a licensed counselor by trade and mental health counselor, and I always try to consult with people who have been in the game longer than I have, people who know so much more. And unfortunately, there's so many counselors that they just go about their day. I guess it's probably like that with any profession, but they go about their day, they collect their paycheck, they don't look to improve. And I think kind of from the Stoics and the belief, you should always, you don't dwell on the future necessarily, but you should always aim to improve. It's a duty. If we can improve, it's our duty to do so. And, for society in general. So I try to look at things that way too.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I like Stoicism as well. I find that philosophy to, it appeals to modern time for sure. Can definitely be beneficial right now.
Right.
Everything that's going on, what people are going through. So you said your gripper program. You kind of described a gripper program that was a little bit old school. Do you do over crushes and coin holds in there too?
I don't yet. I've been in contact with what is it? Grab Hold Challenge. Mm-hmm. Have you guys seen him on Instagram? He's out of Russia, and I've been in contact with him, and I get buying some equipment from him. So I'm waiting on my coin piece to come in, and he sells the Acorn. That's one of his lifts, so I'm waiting for that to come in. I got just some different odds and ends stuff to try, different types of grip than what I'm doing, and again, it's the challenge that he puts up. He's always putting up the leaderboards, and for me, that's what really got me and drew me to him, because it's not about beating the other people. It's about seeing myself improve on that leaderboard. It's become a challenge, and something that that I have to accomplish. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. That's
I'm
fun
gonna get
getting on those leaderboards.
right. So I'm gonna get into a little bit of the other stuff and see how it goes. And
have you tried the coin holds with the gripper, where you put the coin between the gripper handles and try to hold it as long as you can?
I have not done that.
I find that to be pretty helpful.
I think I'll try that. Not him, but arm lifting Russia. Don't ask me how I got in contact with all of the Russian guys. I don't know how it ended up that way, but arm lifting Russia, he sells a complete set of grippers to certify on, and he sells it's kind of like Iron Mind's deal where you've got your gripper and you got the little round piece that sits
silver
in
bullet thing. Yep.
Yeah, and you got to hang. It's a certain amount of weight that hangs off. I don't remember what it is, and it's for time. How long can you hold it? And so I will be practicing something similar to that.
Yeah.
But the coin I can see being much harder because you would have to. I mean, you're holding it all the way.
Yep, you're holding it a lot closer.
Right.
And everybody's got a coin laying around, and you can grab, a 50-cent piece or a penny or a dime and change it up, different thicknesses, whatever. But yeah, that's a fun one to do it's like an overcrush. You have to squeeze super hard to hold the coin there. So it's good to do with a gripper that you can already do. Like a number 2, you take and hold that coin as long as you can.
Okay, I'll have to try that because I'm always interested. Like I said, I've not had really any formal teaching. I've just kind of picked stuff up from here and there, different people I talk to. Just whatever I can is what I gather, and I just kind of design things from there, and
have you checked out the grip board? Have you found that site yet?
I found it, yeah. I've been on and off of there, I guess a couple times. Usually it's if I'm looking up a specific topic.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, grip board's going to cover it if it has to do with grip strength. So
they have 10, 12 years of topics on there. You can find a lot of good info by searching through the grip board.
Right. Yeah. And I end up on their site every time, somehow, so for the search, and I'll read through and see what's going on. And
I like to look at the old posts from like 2010. And if I see anybody's name that's still doing well at grip, then I kind of pay attention to what they were doing, because I'm like, well, they didn't hurt themselves and they're still around. So, that guy knew and he figured something good out. Because a lot of guys you'll find in the old forums, they're gone, and some of the top guys are still kicking and still charging away at it. And it's neat to, wonder, well, what this person did that got him out of it, or what this person did that was successful.
Okay. That Chris Wonder, that I was telling you about, he had told me to always ice my hands after the grip workout.
Okay.
Put ice in a bowl and just dip your hands in and keep them in there as long as you can basically stand it. And I can't say whether it's helped because I don't know what condition I would be in if I didn't do it. But I'm going to take the advice of the guys that have been doing it, if it's not harmful. And
where you live, it's basically doing a contrast bath, ice, and then you basically pull your hands out and you're in heat. So,
right. Yeah. I don't have to warm them with anything.
You just stick them out your window and 115 degrees outside. But that's what most guys say is a contrast bath. So that's right on.
Right. Yep. It gets horribly hot. It's just miserable here from beginning of July to end of August. It's just, it's miserable. So, and my gym right now, I think I may have told you guys in the email, I threw together an enclosure, and it's a metal building. Since I work with metal, that's what I had. And, it has to be 15, 20 degrees hotter in there than it is outside, so
it's probably like 130 in there.
Yeah. So my workouts, you've heard of like the, what do they call that? The heated yoga or whatever.
Hot yoga.
Yeah. Hot yoga. I wondered if I could get something going here with the hot workouts, hot weightlifting or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hot gripster.
Yeah.
With how much steel, how much you have to bend for steel bending, I think you're probably already in the yoga category.
Yeah.
They're gonna not count your steel bins. You already heated up the metal, so it's softer.
Right. Yeah.
So hot in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Well,
melts
yeah,
already.
I'm afraid what'll happen in the wintertime, I might not be as strong anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. How
So,
cold's it get over there?
we usually average above freezing
Oh, that's good.
most of the year. It'll be anywhere. This is one of those places. You just never know. You'll get a day in middle of January that's 65 degrees, and 2 days later, it's freezing. It's 30 degrees. So,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
yeah, I think we only average maybe 10 days that are below freezing in a year.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but it always goes from one extreme to the other. That's when it's going to happen. So yeah, it's a mess here, but.
So you mentioned a few of the old school guys from Grip. Who are you following? Who are you following now?
Really, I've not. I've been watching your podcast lately, and what is the bending steel or steel bending? There's another podcast.
Yeah, the Steel Bending podcast. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I've kind of started. I've been watching some of his. Oh, I'll tell you the name as soon as I can remember it here. Real big guy, real strong. Oh, he's got to weigh. Oh boy, he's got to be pushing close to 3 at least. I know you'll know the name as soon as I say it, but he's a shorter guy too.
In Grip. Jason
he's
Dingy.
Who is it?
Jason Dingy, maybe. Team Fairpoint.
No, this one he's got a couple books out.
Oh, okay.
And one of them I know that comes to mind right away is strength training for martial arts, because he's very large, but he's also really flexible.
Oh, that's great.
And
a lot of big guys can't think they can hang in martial arts.
Right. And have you guys heard of Logan Christopher?
I haven't.
Okay, he does grip stuff, and I kind of followed him. He's very. If you see him, you would not think he's very tall and very thin. He's just got that build, You don't really, if he's just standing there, you really don't see any musculature on him. But in the bending, at least, he's very strong.
Yeah, we've ran into a few guys that are built that way that are just incredibly powerful with their hands.
Right, and he wrote a book called Deceptive Strength.
Oh, that's cool.
That's one of his books, but from him, I got the reverse grip from him, and I know a lot of people are I hear do not like the reverse grip. I think
I'm not a big fan of it.
Right, and one of the last 2 podcasts you did, that guy was it maybe the Russian guy. I know he had a strong accent.
Ivan.
Yeah, I think he didn't like it either. I've seen so many that don't, but when I tried it, my leverage just feels so strong that way. That's the only way I got a kink in this square bar. I tried.
Maybe that with the other techniques, you're unloading your entire back into it. With double over and double under, you're unloading like everything from your back into it. So maybe, it doesn't target your back as much. Maybe you're able to draw more power to it. I don't know. I wouldn't know, but maybe. There's something there.
Because, like I said, I've not really had anybody in person to kind of help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
So it could also be just from blacksmithing. That might be a stronger point that you're used to.
That could be too, yeah. But so far that reverse grip has been, pretty successful for me. Why, I don't know, but and I never tried it in the beginning because everybody just had negative things to say about it, but I talked to, like I said, I talked to Logan Christopher there, and that's his kind of signature bend. And I did it, and it was like, wow, it just made a big difference for me. Like I said, I still practice all my other bends. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, man. It's super important to still practice the other styles. Like, I'm good at the double over, but if you don't practice the other ones, then you'll get really off balance, from what I understand. Some of the top guys have told us you need to practice it in every style. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I feel pretty strong in the double under also, and it's funny because when I actually bend, I usually do use I might start my kink, with the reverse, but then I'll bend with a double over.
Yeah.
But I actually feel stronger with a double under. So I'm not sure, why I don't just use the double under, but yeah, double over, I guess, just feels natural, I think, when you're bending something.
Yeah, I think on the crush, it definitely feels very natural once you've got it kinked, for sure. Kinking double over is, it's pretty wild. Kinking a big bar double over really requires a ton of flexibility in your shoulders, and it's definitely a strange position, and you don't feel that powerful in that position. You don't realize how much power you can generate in that position. It's strange. At least it is for me. I mean, that's how I felt, because I was doing it wrong. I wasn't getting my back into it. I wasn't lining. I didn't have my elbows above my wrist. I was kind of down here and trying to crush it down. And once I learned, that we're bending out and that our elbows are staying above our wrist, and that we're unloading our back into it, I was able to melt steel, almost twice as heavy as what I could do before.
Okay, and that kind of helps, because I was going to say I'm kind of uncomfortable. You see a lot of the guys with the double over, and they'll bring it up under their neck.
That's how you have to do it for the big bars.
And I just feel so, maybe my shoulders are too tight.
Exactly. It's really weird.
I just feel so uncomfortable.
Most guys, they'll tell you, like, if you watch the Tom Flesher top podcast, the one we just put up, the most recent one. Oh no, we haven't put that one up yet. The next one that's coming out, Tom Flesher, he's another steel bender. He goes by Tom Crusher, and he's certified on some pretty big steel. He always does the Indian clubs, like the mace, always before he bends. He says he has to do Indian club work or mace work to get his shoulders wide and opened up for him to be able to get in position to do the bends. And as soon as I heard how to do the double over properly, I went out to the garage, and first thing I did was start doing Tai Chi to open up my shoulders, certain Tai Chi exercises for opening, and then I was able to smash it.
Okay. I tell you what, I'm gonna try. I don't have an Indian club, but I'll use a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And I'll try the like they do with the Indian clubs. I see them, use them a lot, but I never had used
Yeah, I think
them.
Tom even said just swing a hammer.
Yeah, he did. He said if you don't have one, use a sledgehammer.
Just use a hammer.
So I'll try that and see how that bend works for me here next time, and and I'll get back with you guys.
Watch the old cartoons of Gumby.
Yeah.
And then that'll help you. Just become Gumby.
Be Gumby.
Okay.
Or Stretch Armstrong. One of those two. If you're one of those guys, you can do double overhand. Other than that, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't. Like I said, when I get up there in that position, I don't know. I feel so weak, and I think it's just positioning, but.
I know John Brookfield does double overhand, kind of over his sternum, like over his belly, and he can do it.
And he can bend out.
Same concept. He doesn't go under his neck, but he goes right about where his nipples would be, and does it right there, and does double overhand. So.
And that's what I've been doing
around their collarbone too.
If you guys have watched my videos, that's what I've been doing. It's always lower, like at the bottom of my chest.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where Brookfield does it.
So but I'll try the other way and see. Maybe I'll be stronger that way.
I know that it definitely, whether you're doing it here or up here, it's definitely a lot stronger to try to bend outward.
Okay.
Outward, yeah. to make because basically your arms kind of become like extensions of the bar. And it's almost like you have, you're slipping something on and your elbows are locked in. And this becomes the kink point in the middle. And it's like your two hydraulics are pushing against it and bending it forward. And
Yeah.
it seems to help quite a bit when you're able to lock it in that way.
Okay, I'm going to give that a try because I want to advance, so bad. I want to beat that square bar now. It's it just eats at me. I've tried it. I wanted to be able to come on here today and say I beat that bar.
Is it a rated square bar?
No, not. It's a piece I bought at the hardware. So I just he told me I can't think of his name from the steel bending there, but
Matt Armiger.
He told me what size to get, what type of steel, and I know there's a lot of variances in the steel still probably, but I tried right before the show to bend it just so I could come on and say I did it. I conquered that one, but it didn't work out. So
yeah, I wound up after trying that. Because I went from the 1/4 inch round to try to do the 1/4 inch square, no bolts in between. So it's a big jump. It's like 270 or so to like 425 ish. So it's like 150-pound jump. So we actually wound up going back to the 1/4 and taping some 3/16 to the 1/4 inch and bending that.
Okay.
And that worked as a pretty good gap. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that may be where I need to be because according to him, when he gives the estimate of the poundages, there's about 30 pounds difference between my last bend and the square piece.
Yeah.
So, which is a big jump compared to what the others were. The others I was bending, it was estimated 10 pounds, to 20 difference. So, I may have to do that, go back and I'll pick up some.
They say grade 2 and 5 bolts are also a little above the 1/4 inch steel, but not quite as hard as the square. I know the square is a lot easier if you can bend it on the corner instead of bending it on the flat, which is pretty hard to do, to turn it right and get it to bend on the corner. But obviously it's a much smaller piece of steel if it's shaped like a diamond, because then it's almost like round as opposed to it being, flat, because then it's 0.25 all the way through. So there's a little trick to trying to bend the square as well.
That makes sense. And,
but of course, I mean, if you want it to be as hard as possible, you just bend it on the flat.
Right. Well, first I would like to bend it, and then I'll, worry about the harder way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've actually got a kink both ways in mind somehow. It's kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a little off. I noticed that today. So I guess just different grips, for the different days I've been working on it. But yeah, other than that, like I said, workouts, I go in and I do my heaviest exercises first. Like if I only do squats once a week, and I do deadlifts once a week.
Okay.
And they're on opposite days. So squat day, I go in and I'll do my squats, bench press, my bent over row, which sometimes it's a bent over row, sometimes it's a seal row. It depends on how my back's feeling.
Yeah.
At the time, if I can do the bent over row, I do it. But if I get into position and it's hurting, then I'll just switch to a seal row. Then I do my overhead press, bicep curl, and standing bicep curl. And I've started this new. I was doing a skull crushers for triceps, but boy, all these guys' names are just leaving my head now. But Juji Mufu, you've heard of him?
Yep.
Yeah. He had a guy on, a coach on there, one of his recent episodes, that showed a different tricep exercise, and you can load more weight. It's very similar to the close grip bench press, but you're, I don't know really how to explain the difference. You feel the difference, but it's kind of bringing your arms down to your side and then up here coming down. So you're going up and then up. It's hard to explain,
but it makes perfect sense. Yeah. It's like a small tricep extension before the press.
Right. Yeah. That's what it is. And I forgot what he called it, a modified CM press or M, something like that. But really you can load so much more weight on that. And,
it seems pretty safe too, especially if you have any back issues. It seems a lot safer than having the weight way back behind you, extending your whole back and, dealing with that issue. Yeah, absolutely. That's a cool move.
And
check that out. That's a cool move.
And plus I can do it in my rack. So I've got my safeties, in place, and it's just a lot safer for me I'm not old, but at my age, I'm learning to do everything the safer way.
Have to adapt at some point.
Right. Yeah. No reason to get too crazy on it, or I don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Not all Mark Felix or Ode Haugen.
Exactly. I'll do what I can do, and like I said, I'm doing it for me anyway. So.
And you want to feel good the next day, so definitely do it the safe route.
Right. Yeah. And like I am doing, since I'm doing the hip belt squats, I'm doing the 20 rep breathing squats.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I switched to those recently, and I love those. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say bad things about them, that that's overdoing it and everything, but my legs have never felt better, doing those. And I'm using the normal weight that I would have did 10 with, I'm using for the 20.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and but I'm a little sore the next day, with my walking. I'm like you said, Gumby there. I'm a little Gumby-ish at that next day, but after that, they just feel great, and I can feel that I actually hit those muscles. So
I think the old school programs are worth their merit. A lot of people discredit them because some coach figured out a 3% more efficient program for his elite level athletes that are going for a gold medal in something or another. And I mean, so what? That's not you. If you found a good program that works, that was proven to work, even if it worked 40 years ago, it's probably still going to work on humans today. So
and it boils down to listening to your body too. If somebody's like, oh, that doesn't work, and you're doing it and you're killing it and it's working for you, then it's like, well, clearly our bodies are different and it's working, so I ain't hurting, so
that's
why not
the way
just do it.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. I mean, it's if it works for me, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, we've interviewed several top guys. And several of the top guys, I mean, some of the number one guys in grip, like Adam Glass is number one right now in the Super Series. And, he said, hey, I go into the gym, and if I do a workout and it doesn't feel good, I'm not doing it. I don't care if it's a program or whatever. It doesn't feel good, I'm not doing it that day. I'm doing what feels good and making sure I'm hitting my bases and hitting my marks that I want to every couple of weeks. But, when I'm in there, I'm doing what feels right, and that's what I'm working. I think that's smart.
I do too. I mean, you hear a lot of people say, well, if you're feeling sick, you just got to push yourself. You got to go in there and do it anyway. And I have done that, and I've ended up being more sick.
Got more sick, exactly.
I mean, you're taxing your immune system.
You feel like hell, and you're like, yeah, let's go do this.
Yeah. So I've learned, if I feel bad enough, I'm not doing it either. I mean, I totally agree with that.
Absolutely. So before we let you go, do you have any other big advice or advice you want to share with our fans that you think would help them getting fit at home?
I find the things that you like to do and do them and set the goals. Like I'm picking, I said I've got a couple of the goals I want to do. Pick something like that and work towards it. And on your way, you're going to learn other information and you'll pick up other things. And, but it's got to be something that you want for you. And, not to prove something to other people. And you're never, like in counseling, we'll always tell people you can't do stuff for other people. Not to impress them, because eventually you're going to get tired of it and give up. It has to be something for you, something you want to accomplish. And I'm a strong believer in setting goals, a longer term goal, and breaking that down into achievable goals. And for me so far, it's been working. And, don't worry about what other people say. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Because if I watch everything that Adam Glass is doing, I'm going to feel pretty bad about myself. Yeah. So, I'm basing my progress on me. If, I'm going after my own PRs, and it doesn't hurt to set your sights and to be something like that, or to have I don't want to say an idol, but somebody you look up to, that you would like to be like. Gives you a little drive maybe, but in the end, it has to be about yourself. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Any more questions? Any comments?
Don't.
All righty. Do you have any questions for us, Couch Potato Strong, before we let you go?
I can't think of any. I'm excited about getting that potato because, I've been watching these guys lift it, and I watched the young guy earlier. You guys put out a post of he's a big,
Everest.
Yeah, very, very big young guy, but
yeah.
That it's motivational seeing it, and I want to do it now, so
it's a fun lift. It's very tough on the fingers, but we found that some steel benders have some really good numbers. Derek Graybill's a steel bender that put up over 180-pound lift, and he primarily bends steel. And he's also done some crazy pinch pull-ups on it. So I mean, there's definitely a merit in that. The steel bending makes your fingertips strong. So there you go.
The heavyweight division stacked, man.
Heavyweight, yeah. Clay Edgen is in second place in the heavyweight division, and of course, you know who he is. He has a bolt named after him. So he's obviously, big steel bender.
Well, if I didn't like donuts so much, I could probably get in that lighter division. But
yeah. What do you weigh? It's 231 is the middleweight, top of the middleweight, and then heavyweight's above 231.
Okay, I'm at 190.
Oh, okay, so you'll be in the middleweight division.
Oh yeah, then don't worry about the heavyweights. Let me tell you, that division sucks. I just got in 10th place, and then it got shattered. Yep. I'm off the leaderboards again.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and I could get down to the lighter division, like I said, if I could stop donuts, just for a few months anyway. But
yeah, it's only 176. It's only 15 pounds.
Yeah, it's just, what is it worth it?
Yeah, exactly. The donuts are probably more worth it,
especially when it's 115 outside. Donuts are worth it.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of enjoyment.
That's right.
Yeah,
for sure. All righty. Well, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Hope to talk to you guys again.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. See you later.